we are actually heading into the end of my WIC benefits and my middle child's
Run around.
So today I wanted to spend a little time talking about WIC. Does everybody already know about WIC? I don't know. I didn't know about WIC before I had my first, so I thought I'd cover that just briefly for anybody who's not already familiar. So it's available to women, infants, and children, I believe up to age 5. Children up to age 5. And so you can also get WIC if you're pregnant. I didn't know that either, so I didn't have that with my first child. I didn't get WIC until after I was pregnant, but they'll also give it to pregnant women as well, and it's basically just extra food benefits, which is kind of nice. So WIC is available for most individuals of lower income. So I don't know exactly what the income limit is, but you can qualify by either submitting your information like your tax returns and your W-2s or all of that to the WIC office, or you could qualify with different other programs that have more extensive qualifications. I usually just qualify with the Medicaid cards. So there's not a lot of extra paperwork that you have to bring in. They just take that as our income usually, unless it's changed or something's different about it. Once you get it established, basically they send you a letter when your appointment is coming up, and the letter will tell you if you need to bring anything with you. So they'll tell you if you need to bring your child or if you need to bring certain paperwork or anything like that. And that way you'll know ahead of time kind of what they're going to check. And there's different types of WIC appointments. So some are education appointments because they want to make sure that you know what you're doing, I guess, with your health, or that you can ask questions or whatever. So they make you either do an online education thing that you have to go through and answer, like read and answer questions and stuff to make sure you're taking classes, you're putting in some effort or something. Or they could do in-person ones where they talk you through all the stuff that they want you to know. And sometimes it has to do with like your children's milestones. So just making sure you know when it's okay for them to start solids, or if you need help with breastfeeding. A lot of times they have a consultant on hand for that, or if you have questions about your own nutrition or the kids' nutrition. So you get your letter, you go into the appointment, and depending on the type of appointment, they'll either just talk you through stuff. Sometimes they'll take like height and weight to make sure everybody's developing normally. And sometimes they'll do like a blood test of some kind, like just a finger prick type. And then they'll take you into the other room and explain your benefits. And sometimes you have a couple of options, so they'll help you select between the options that are available for your particular WIC period of time that you're on, and answer questions about it. And then you get this card issued to you that has like a number, and you can set a PIN number for it. And then you can use that in most grocery stores, most large grocery stores. With that, they also have an app that has like information, but it also shows you what your benefits are, so you don't have to have them printed for you every time, but it'll show you what your benefits are. And when you buy stuff, it'll automatically adjust for that when you swipe your card. And then it'll also give you, like, they'll have like recipe ideas and stuff if you're into that, tell you when your appointment is, like which items are WIC eligible, which can be a little bit of a tricky navigation especially when you're getting started. Once you've kind of gotten into it, then you kind of know, okay, this is what I buy on WIC. But some things like we didn't, because it's a little clunky to go through the app and find stuff. They do have like a scanner that you can scan stuff and find out if it's WIC eligible. I've never used that personally, but probably very helpful, I assume. But we kind of have our own things that we know what we're buying now, so that makes it easier as you kind of get used to it. They also relatively recently, I think it was either during the pandemic or after the pandemic, they upped the amount of fruits and vegetables, at least here where I'm located. Now there's kind of an insane amount of fruits and vegetables allowed it used to be much lower. So it's really nice. Actually, it saves us a lot of money on groceries with little kids. We still try not to go crazy because it's a dollar amount that you get for fruits and vegetables. Although some other things are like per ounce instead of dollar amount. So you just have to fill out so like 24 ounces of whole grains. So that can be a bread, or that can be a whole grain pasta, or it can be, I don't know. There's like lots of options. And so you have to kind of see what your store has and what you want within that. So that can be kind of a chore, but once you figure it out. So what we buy, and this took some trial and error. There's some things, it got to a point where there's just certain things that we're like, okay, we're just not going to buy this. We're just going to leave it. As much as I like to utilize everything we can while we have that available to us, we're not going to eat fish. We've tried a couple of times. Tuna fish, salmon, they have those options for like the cans or the packets, and we just don't like fish. So we're just not going to get that. But like beans, we found some ways to cook with beans that you have, or they have like a thing of peanut butter, and my kids can't eat peanut butter because, well, the older two are allergic to peanuts. We don't know yet about the baby, but we still get the peanut butter because my husband and I will eat it. And so that makes it nice. So they have like a yogurt, oats now. We buy a lot of oats, and then you get milk. We never use all of the milk. And then we'll get like a whole grain pasta or whole grain bread with it. They have juices on there, and a lot of times we end up leaving the juices. My EB's been into juice lately, so we have been getting that, and he likes to make ice pops with them. He just freezes them in ice cubes and eats them that way. And then Finn also sometimes likes juice. Oh, cheese and eggs. Cheese and eggs are a big one. They have a fair amount of cheese and eggs on there, and that's really nice too, the dairy stuff. So we don't, like, cheese can get kind of expensive, especially if you don't, like, we don't eat a lot of meat, so we eat a lot of cheese and eggs. So those can get kind of pricey, but WIC keeps them lower price. And like when everybody was freaking out about the price of eggs, we still had WIC. And then we also had someone in our church that gives away when they have excess eggs. So between the two of those, we didn't have to worry about eggs at all, which was really nice. And it's on a monthly basis. So you have like an expiration, it'll switch up like I think ours is the 27th of the month. It'll start over. So if you didn't use any of the benefits, they just go away and they're repopulated into the next month. And then every few months you have to go in or recertify the WIC stuff to make sure that your income is still accurate and that you are still within the qualifications and all of that. So yeah, highly recommend going through the trouble. At one point I was like, oh, Matthew, I don't know if this is worth the effort anymore. And then they upped the fruits and vegetables. And after a little while, I was like, no, it really is saving us quite a bit of money on groceries. So, for anybody that's on the fence or doesn't, want to go through the effort, I think it can be worth it for people. It's just helpful to have a little bit of an extra thing. And if you can kind of find some stuff that you like to eat, then it's worth the time.